Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have some new Juvia'S makeup and I bought 2 palettes. I bought 3 lipsticks and 1 lip liner. I am going to show you the palettes that I purchased. The first one is this TAUPE'S by Juvia'S, and these are the shades. Really beautiful, cool tone shades. And then the other one I purchased was the NUDE'S by Juvia'S, and these are the nude shades, really beautiful shades. There's a mixture of like some neutral and warm tones in here, but for the most part it looks more on the warm side. I am gonna do a look using both of these palettes on each eye. And then I purchased 3 lip products. One of them is Mademoiselle. This is a lipstick. Chic. This is another lipstick. And then I also purchased a lip reflect gloss in Barely There. So these are the 3 products that I purchased for my lips. This is what the lipstick packaging looks like. The packaging is really soft. It kind of reminds me of the NARS soft packaging. And then when you open it up, here is the lipstick, but this is it right here. I have used this lipstick already and it's so creamy on the lips, and I'll swatch it for you guys so you can see. But that is Mademoiselle, which is a nice, beautiful peachy nude. And then the next lipstick I purchased was called Chic. It's the same packaging as the other one. And then this is the shade Chic. It's a beautiful, like, mauve pink tone. And then the lip gloss that I purchased is Barely There, and Barely There looks like this. The top is designed very beautifully with gold on pink. This is the doe foot applicator. It's a very thick doe foot applicator, and I haven't tried the gloss just yet, but it comes off very opaque and very glossy, so we're gonna try that today. And then the last thing I purchased was a lip pencil, and I should have included this as a lip product, but anyway, I did purchase the shade Sweet Nothing. So it comes in like a pink plastic tube, and it says Juvia'S, and then here is the shade. Now the shade is very similar to what is on the outer portion. As you can see, that is called Sweet Nothing. I figured Sweet Nothing would go with pretty much everything that I purchased. So we're gonna try that on later. But first we're gonna go ahead and do our eyes. So let me go in with primer really quick, and I'm gonna go in with the Mario primer. This primer has been one of my favorite primers. It just goes on like a dream. I love the way it makes my shadow look. My shadow goes on top of that primer so flawlessly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dip into both of these shades. I like using both of them together. I have used them separate before, but I've been going in with them together here lately. So I'm gonna go ahead and top that off with the powder. So now we're gonna go ahead and go into the TAUPE'S palette. I am gonna start with this shade right here, and I'm using a Sonia Kashuk rounded crease brush. I've been loving this brush to apply shadow, especially when it comes to the crease. So I'm just going to run that all through my crease and above my crease. I love Juvia'S eyeshadow palettes. I think they're some of the best out there. They're very pigmented. You cannot go wrong with her shadows. I love them. So when I saw the more taupe shades and the nude shades, I had to get both of those palettes. So that's the first shade there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go into this shade right here, and I'm using that same brush. I'm just going a little bit more detailed into the crease and a little bit on my lid, just so that I can make that crease a little more detailed. Now I'm gonna go into a Sonia Kashuk tapered crease brush, and I'm gonna go into this darker shade right here. And then I'm gonna go right on the outer corner and bring it into the crease. Just gonna kind of press it in there. This brush is a little bit more tapered than the other one I used. This is a perfect everyday palette. Just look how beautiful that shade goes on. You can just wear it like this if you wanted to. But for the sake of the video, we're gonna go ahead and get a little more glam. I am gonna take this MAC 217 brush, and I'm going into this shade right here. This is like a taupe shade as well, but it's more on the shimmery side. So I don't know how this brush is going to actually press it into my lid. It's not picking up a lot of product. Let me try another brush. I think I need a brush that's gonna be a little more dense. I'm gonna go in with this Morphe 305 brush. We're gonna try this brush. A little more precise, a little more dense. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go in with this color right here. And I'm going to use that same brush. I'm going to use the other side. This shade's a little bit creamier, and I'm just going to press it into the eyelid. Now this one is super glittery, so I would not recommend you doing your shadow after you do your base makeup like I did, because it is going right here on the bottom of my under eye, on the tops of my cheeks. I would definitely be careful with that shade. Still a pretty shade. All right, so now I'm gonna take this shade right here, and I'm using a MAC 242 brush. The 242 always picks up a lot of these creamier shades way better than a regular brush. That's pretty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that MAC 217 brush, and I'm going to go into the darker taupe, and I'm going to just deepen that outer corner and just kind of press it in there and blend at the same time. See, that's really pretty. And then what I want to do is I'm going to take a pencil brush, and I'm going to wet it really quickly. I'm going to go into this shade right here, and I'm going to place that on my under eye. And then I'm going to take that same pencil brush, and I'm going to go into this shade right here, and I'm going to go as close to the lash line as possible. That's it right there. So as you can see, this comes off very light on the eye. It's not very intense, but it's still a very beautiful cool tone palette that you can wear on a daily basis. So I really do like the way this look came out. The shadows are impeccable. They just blend so well. And like I said, the only thing with this shadow here, this one is a little bit creamier, and it is very glittery. I don't know if you guys can tell right there, but it is pretty glittery. So that's it right there, but look how gorgeous it is. Even though it has glitter in it, it looks beautiful. So what I want to do next is just kind of go in with my finger and see if I can press this in. Oh yeah, look how gorgeous that looks. It just adds that hint of sparkle to the eye. That's beautiful. This would be perfect too, like for a nighttime look with like a bold lip, because the eyes are very soft. They're not super vibrant or super strong. I think this would just go perfectly with a really nice, like bold cranberry lip. I think it would be beautiful with that. All right, so now we're gonna go into the nudes palette. I cleaned off my brushes, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Sonia Kashuk rounded crease brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my crease. Now this shade is very light on me, so it's not a really good crease color for me, but it's still gonna be a nice brow bone shade for me. Now I'm gonna take the same brush, I'm gonna go into that peachy shade right there. It's a little bit darker peach than the other one. And that I'm gonna take in my crease again. And again, this one is not showing up really well on me. You can see it, but it's not a good crease color for me. You know what I mean? All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and go into this shade right here, which is more of a tan brown shade. I'm taking that Sonia Kashuk tapered crease brush, and I'm going to go into the crease. This is more of a crease color for me, because it's a little bit darker. It's just a really nice shade for that. I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is kind of like a nude pink shade. I'm taking that MAC 242. I'm just gonna place this all over my lid. That's really pretty. It's very, very light. Now I'm gonna take this shade right here. I'm taking that same MAC 242 brush, and I'm going right here on the outer corner. Ooh, that's nice and bright. Not really taking it to the whole outer corner, I'm just kind of doing it right here in the middle. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the MAC 217, and I'm gonna go back into the darkest shade in that palette, and I'm just going to press it on the outer corner, just like I did the other eye, just kind of give it some depth. All right, so now I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna go into this shade right here. This is somewhat similar to the shade that I used in the other palette, in the TAUPE'S palette, where it was a little bit creamy, has a little bit of glitter in there. So I'm just gonna press this onto the lid. And this one is super, super chunky. I think it would go on better with like a glitter glue. I don't know, it's kind of chunky for me. Let me go ahead and get a pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here, and I'm just going to put that on my bottom lash line. Then I'm gonna go into that darker shade, the darkest one in the palette. And that is it for that eye. So I will say that this Nudes palette is not something that really works for my skin tone. I don't think the shades are bad. I just think it would be better on someone who's a little bit lighter skin tone than I am, because it hardly shows up. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it hardly shows up. And that very glittery type shade, the really creamy one, I really didn't like the chunkiness of it. It wasn't like the other one where I just put it on and it just kind of went on really seamlessly. This one had a little bit more chunkiness to it, so I did not like that. So yeah, this one is something that I probably would not use. What I'll probably do with this is give it to my youngest daughter. She has a lighter skin tone than I do, and I think this would be like perfect on her. So I'm not really feeling this palette. I feel like the TAUPE'S palette is a better match for my skin tones. But like I said, this one is not a bad palette. The shades go on very nicely. They're easily blendable. They do have some nice pigmentation, but I think the pigmentation is not there for me who has a darker skin tone. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna give this away. So let's go on with the lip products. So we're gonna start with the lip liner. I am gonna put both lipsticks on so you guys can see the shades. So let me go ahead and line my lips with this. I have used this already. I love the creaminess and the consistency of this lip liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lip. I'm going to show you guys the shade that I used before, which is the Mademoiselle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one first, and then I'll do the Chic one. So as you can see, they're very pigmented. They're super creamy on the lips. I love this shade. I think it goes perfect with that lip liner. I love shades like this where they're more on the peachy nude side. So yeah, I really like this. Feels very comfortable. So this is the shade Mademoiselle. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, and then we'll put on the shade Chic. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply Chic. I am loving this shade as well. I love like the mauve tones. Kind of gives me like 60s vibes. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the lip gloss, and I'm just gonna add it on top of this lipstick. Oh wow, that's like super pigmented. I don't know that I wanna put any more on because it's gonna look too thick. I'm just gonna tap it onto my lips. I will say that that feels like super moisturizing on my lips. It feels like there's an oil in that lip gloss. It's not super slippery, it's not tacky. I like the way it looks, I like the way it feels, and I love that it has so much pigmentation that you only need a little bit, because that means it'll just last you for a long time. Wow, that feels pretty good. So that is it for the new products that I picked up from Juvia'S Place. Everything actually worked out well for me. Like I said, I've used the lip liner and the lipstick Mademoiselle already, so I only had a few items that I had to try today for the first time. But like I said, Juvia'S Place is such a good brand. They have really good products. I love a lot of their eyeshadows. I think their eyeshadows are very high quality, especially for the price. And these are pretty much the same. The only thing is this one did not really show up on my eyes. But other than that, the TAUPE'S palette is insanely good. I love it. I love the way it looks on my eyes. I'm gonna love wearing this, like I said, with like a bold cranberry lip or a cool tone brown lip. So yeah, I'm really loving this one. But this one I am gonna give away, and I'm gonna keep the lipsticks, the lip liner, and the lip gloss because I think all of those were really good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will talk to you on the next one.